Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the 6 case studies that Jesus has provided for us. Before we do that, I want to give you a little bit of background because I'm going to read the whole text to you in one big lump. And I want to give you some rules for reading this. Here's what Jesus does every time. He gives us a statement of the Old Testament text, the Torah. You have heard that it was said. Most people back then were illiterate, so they didn't have copies of the Bible that they read, so they heard it talked about. Then Jesus explains it, and he says, but I say to you, and he'll explain what it means, and then he'll give a practical application. So there are 6 of these. With all 6 of these, you're going to see these 3 stages. You've heard it said, I say to you, and then a practical application. And then one other thing. It's real easy to be like, oh, okay, so all sins are equal here. You know, it says don't murder, hate's just as bad. Yes and no. Yes and no. Hate and murder are both sins. And all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But I think murder might be a little bit more worse. Worser. It has consequences that are far more damaging than hate. Hate might lead to murder. It doesn't necessarily lead to murder. And so I'm not suggesting that some of these sins are worse, and I'm going to tell you which ones are worse than the others. But if you just say, well, I didn't murder, I'm not so bad. Okay, that's good, but let's get above and beyond the law. Okay? But I'm actually glad that we're not sitting in a room filled with murderers right now. That makes me feel a little safer in this room that we're not sitting in a room with murderers or serial adulterers. Because if we were, it would be very uncomfortable to worship with you all. Because there would be public consequences to those sins. And so this commentator says, Jesus is not making all sins equal. Murder and adultery are indeed worse sins with greater social and personal consequences than hating and lusting. These heart-focused exegeses reveal the true depth of the matter. The broad and easy way was in the way of religion, not that of whole person righteousness. So Jesus is going to say, these are bad because they break love of God and love of other people, and there are social consequences. But also the things that are behind them, if you go above and beyond the law, like hate. Hate is also bad too. So we want to get above and beyond hate. Yeah, adultery's bad, but we also want to get above and beyond lust as well. Yeah, we don't want divorce. What we really want to do is get above and beyond in marriage relationships so there's high fidelity. But we all know that murder and divorce and adultery have different kinds of consequences. The other thing Jesus is going to say here is, yeah, with oaths, okay, maybe this doesn't seem so bad, oaths, you're just heaping on words. But if you live in a world where you have to qualify everything for someone to believe you, that's no place to live. What if we just spoke truth? Let's get above and beyond the law. He says something similar, too, about revenge, and this is a tricky one, right? Turn the other cheek, give away your coat. What if they come into my house in the middle of the night and they have a gun? Do I have the right to shoot them? Let's get above and beyond the law, Jesus says, and let's show mercy. Ooh, I've just opened up a can of worms there. And love my enemy, even these wicked, horrible people all about the world. Jesus is going to say, let's get above and beyond the law with that one too. Let's practice an unbiased love. Love the people who philosophically, politically, religiously oppose you. Now again, some of these have worse social consequences. But Jesus is saying, let's get above and beyond them all and practice an elaborate sort of love.